Hello all, welcome to testingtools.co. So as we discussed, we have started some series on Selenium as well. Okay. So in this series of videos, I'll be discussing about how do we use Selenium to automate web applications, and we will be using Java as the scripting language. Okay. So today we will see how we can launch a web browser with Selenium. Okay. But before that, we should be doing some basic steps, and then we can get started. Okay. So here is the Eclipse window, and we will create a new Maven project. Okay. So when you install the latest Eclipse, by default you will be able to create some Maven projects. Okay. So how do we create? We go to File, New, and then click on Project. So here if you see, it shows multiple types of things, but what you can do is in Maven, you will have a Maven folder under which you will have something called Maven project. Select the Maven project and click on Next. So the next window comes in the project creation wizard. So what we generally do is we create a simple project. Okay. For that we have to click on this checkbox so that by default some settings will be enabled. Okay, and then click on Next. So once you do this, it will ask us to give some names which will be used again in the project, in the Maven project. Okay. So here first you will see something called group ID. Here for now I am just giving com dot, or I'll say co dot testing tools, and then I will say something like Selenium. Okay, and rest all can be left as default and click on finish. Now it will take some time for the project to be loaded, and because this is a Maven project, it will try to enable some configurations because of the Maven. So if you see here, it has created a new project here called Selenium, and under this you see something called pom.xml. So the beauty of Maven projects is basically you don't need to download any jar files and then add it to your Java path or something. Okay, that is very tedious activity, and also there are problems like if somebody has changed the jar file, you have to again go and download, right? So instead of that, what we can do is we can add a dependency here in the pom file. Okay, here is the pom file that got generated. Okay, now if you see, we gave this group ID, right? co.testing tools, and then we have given the artifact ID. So those two things have come, and then there is a version which comes by default along with the project that you create. Okay, now under here we add something called dependencies. So this is the location where we will add some dependencies with respect to the libraries that are available in the internet, and then we can use them by giving that dependency in this particular project. Okay, now as we are working with Selenium, we need to find a Selenium Maven dependency and then add that dependency into this particular pom.xml file. Okay, so let me open a browser. So if you see here, I have already searched for a Maven, Selenium Maven dependency. Okay, and then you can go to the first link itself. So once this Maven repository link gets opened, you will see a lot of versions. For each version there are some links. Okay, currently 4 is the latest Selenium Maven dependency. Okay, but it is still in testing phase. Like you can see here, it says alpha and beta. Okay, otherwise you can use version 3. This is the most stable version as of now. Okay, so you can click on this, and then it gives us some small XML kind of a code. It is called the dependency. So if you want to use the libraries with respect to the Selenium activities, you can do that by adding this dependency into your pom.xml file. So you can copy it, and in these dependencies you can paste it. So don't forget to create this dependencies tag, okay, otherwise it will throw error. Now once we have added this particular dependency, you can save it by Ctrl S, or you can use the file menu to save it. Now when we do this, it takes some time to basically download these libraries from internet, right? So we are not adding any jar file or anything, to the project specifically. But when we add this Maven dependency, that dependency itself will download the jar files and keep it in a certain location. It is generally in your users folder, okay, and it is called .m2 folder. In that .m2 folder, it downloads all the jar files. The advantage is you don't have to put these jar files in your source code, right? If suppose you want to give this source code or to be transferred to some other place, you don't have to make the entire source code as a huge size with all the jar files. But when you keep this Maven dependency, wherever you open this project, it will automatically try to download in their local folders, okay, and it gets connected. So if you want to see which all libraries have been included now, you can see here there is a tree node called Maven dependencies. If you click on this, you will see there are many jars that got downloaded along with this. This has come only because we have added this dependency. Okay, cool. Now you can close this pom.xml file. Okay. Now, so what are we trying to do here? We are trying to basically launch a browser with our Selenium code, right? So now what we have to do is, there are two ways of launching a browser, okay? In this video, I'll be talking about the first type, where we have to download a particular Chrome driver.exe file if you want to work with Chrome browser, or there'll be a Gecko driver if you want to work with Firefox. Similarly, there will be other for other browsers, okay? So we are starting with only the Chrome browser. So what you have to do is, you have to first download a file called Chrome driver.exe. Okay, let me download that file. Okay, so I have searched for download Chrome driver for Selenium. Okay, you can open the first link here, which says chromedriver.chromium.org. So if you see here, there are different releases they have given. You can take the first release if your Chrome browser version is 91, or based on your Chrome browser version in your machine or laptop, please download that particular file. Okay, so here I am clicking on the latest one. Here it shows the list of all Chrome driver files with respect to each operating system. So we have for Linux, we have for Mac, we have for Windows. So in this video, I am using Windows, so I'll be clicking on this Chrome driver Win32 zip file. Okay, it gets downloaded here at the bottom, if you can see. So this is basically a zip file. Once you extract this zip file, you will have something called Chrome driver.exe. So I have already downloaded and I have put it in a particular location. So here I copied the zip file and then I have extracted it. If you see here, there is something called Chrome driver.exe file. So this zip file contains only this particular Chrome driver.exe file. Now we will go to Eclipse and then create our first test. Okay. So here I am going to source test Java, right click and then say new class. So here it asks us to give a class name that you want to give. So please give that, like I'm giving here demo test, and then click on finish. So for you to understand the coding, what is all happening, you must learn at least basic Java programming. Okay. So for that, I have already created a series of videos which will cover the knowledge that you need to gain, especially if you want to work with test automation. I have covered those concepts which are bare minimum required to learn the Selenium Java. Okay. So you can click on the info link where you can start with the learning of Java programming. Okay. So I have created a public static void main function here so that I can start with my coding. Okay. Now, first thing what you have to do is the Chrome driver file that we have downloaded, we should set it in the system properties. Okay, for that we have a specific configuration that you have to do. Okay, that can be done through the code, and this is the code for that. So here we have to set configuration for WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver, and the second parameter is the location of the Chrome driver exe file that we have downloaded. Okay, so I am setting that here. I am copying the path. Okay, so I wrote the code which will help us to set the driver location for our Chrome browser. Okay, so this is the code. Okay, now we have something called an interface which was given by Selenium. Okay, and that is called WebDriver. Please understand, it is an interface. So once we write this line of code, it shows a red line because you have not imported the WebDriver interface. The import statement is missing. So if you want to add any import statements, you can use the shortcut Ctrl+Shift+O. So if you see here, it has added the import statement for WebDriver. Okay. Now, as we are working with Chrome driver here, we can do here like driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Okay, so the reason why WebDriver has been marked as an interface or created as an interface, because we can create other driver classes and assign to this particular driver object. Because it is an interface, whatever the child classes which have been used to extend this interface can be assigned directly, and you can still use those methods, right? That is the idea of having interface. So today we are showing about Chrome driver. Okay, tomorrow if you want to do for Firefox, it will be similar. Like I will say driver is equal to new Firefox driver. But if you want to use this Firefox driver, you have to change the configuration for this and also the location of the Gecko driver exe file. Okay, I'm just explaining you here as how you can assign different classes into the WebDriver. So let us go and see what is there in this Chrome driver, how it has been created, and all those things. Okay, so how can you go into any class? You have to just press Control key and click on it. Okay, and it will take you to the respective class. So this is a dot class file. You will not see the entire code, but at least you will have the structure of the class. Okay, so I am just trying to explore. So here if you see here, it says public class Chrome driver extends remote WebDriver. Okay, now let us see what is there in remote WebDriver. See here, it says public class remote WebDriver implements WebDriver. Okay, so WebDriver is an interface that is being implemented by remote WebDriver, and then that is again extended by Chrome driver. And similarly, the Firefox driver, the other IE driver or Edge driver also will extend this remote WebDriver. And because of this reason, you can create an object for Chrome driver and still assign it to the WebDriver object. Okay, so that is the advantage of creating an interface and then extending the interface for a different functionality, right? So what is happening here? The Chrome driver is created, the Firefox driver is created, but all of them will have the same methods in the interface that it extends, and then it overrides the functionality, because when you are working on Chrome browser, it has to launch the Chrome browser. When it has to work on Firefox, it has to launch the Firefox. Similarly for other drivers. Okay, so for now I am deleting this, we don't need it. Now in order to launch any browser, there is a method called .get. Okay, in this you can give the URL, and once the browser is launched, I just want to close it. Okay, so I can say driver dot close. So that's all. The code is very simple here. You have to first set the Chrome driver location, and then you create an object for Chrome driver and assign it to driver, and then you call these methods. For when you say .get, it will launch the browser with the particular URL that has been given, and then finally you can use the close method to even close the browser that got launched. Okay, now we will execute this program and then see what is going to happen. So once we execute this program, it basically launches a Chrome browser. See here, it is trying to navigate to the URL that we have given, and if you see here, it also says Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. Okay, which means this particular browser has been launched by the automation code that we have written, and it has launched the browser also and navigated to the particular website that we have given. Now it automatically closes and then it finishes the execution. So this is how you basically write a small code to launch a Chrome browser using Selenium Java. Now this is one way of writing the code in order to launch the browser. Okay, but the problem here is you should always set this property and set the location of this particular Chrome driver, right? And also whenever a new Chrome browser version is updated or upgraded, you have to again download the relevant Chrome driver file and then put it in the same location and keep on maintaining it. But there is an alternate way where we need not worry about all those things. You have to just include one particular Maven dependency and then make a little change in the code, and that will take care of everything. Okay, so in this video we are going to stop here. I will make another video after this where I will show you those steps. Okay, where it talks about which Maven dependency you need to include in the project, and then what is the piece of code that you have to change so that it still works properly and there is no headache of maintaining these driver files. Okay, I hope these videos will be useful for you and you will be able to learn Selenium and help you guys in your work. Okay, now in order to not miss any other future videos that I am going to share, I would request all of you to please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much.